London's winter was gray and unrelenting, a drizzle coating the streets in a cold, a silver sheen that mirrored the numbness settling in my chest. I stared at my phone again, the photograph frozen in my mind. My husband, his arm wrapped possessively. Around a woman I didn't recognize, white dress pristine, bouquet of lilies in her hands. And above it, in all its careless arrogance, my mother-in-law's caption, celebrating love. So happy for my son and his beautiful bride. The sun had barely risen over the Thames when I realized that my life, the one I had meticulously built, had been hollowed out beneath me by lies and betrayal. Our house, sprawling Georgian townhouse in Kensington worth £15 million, was silent except for the faint hum of the central heating. Every corner had been a monument to a sore, as it turned out a monument to me alone, because he had never been faithful, never loyal. I walked through the room slowly, my boots muffled against the polished oak floors, and for the first time in years I felt free, not exhilarated, not joyful, but free. Anger was a luxury I could dispense with. Clarity would serve me far better. By 9 a.m., I had drafted the sale paperwork. Quietly, efficiently, I signed every document, transferred the ownership, and ensured the funds would be secured under my name, protected through layers of trusts and shell companies that even he could not penetrate. This was not the loud, chaotic revenge that tabloids relished. This was surgical, elegant, the kind of revenge that left the perpetrator floundering in disbelief. London winters could be merciless, but today I felt no chill. My resolve radiated like the heat from the old fireplaces in the drawing rooms is smoldering, invisible, unstoppable. I spent the morning arranging final details. The moving company would arrive at precisely 11 a.m. The auctioneer notified, the buyers vetted to ensure no whispers of scandal. I drank my espresso, black, bitter, as I composed. The email to our estate manager, effective immediately, the property has been sold. Please coordinate the transition. All keys to be returned to the new owner. Thank you. Every word felt like a weight lifting. Every keystroke was a bell toll announcing his downfall. Would not see it coming. Not yet. By mid-afternoon. Head walked to Hyde Park, letting the winter fog curl around me as if shielding me from prying eyes. Memories of our marriage replayed unbidden. The quiet mornings he spent on the terrace, the late nights he claimed were for work, the whispered promises that now felt like relics from a past life. Betrayal, I realized, was rarely loud. It was measured, patient, and insidious. He had spent years eroding the foundation I had trusted him to honor. Now, it was my turn to exact justice, not with rage, but with calm inevitability. When he returned that evening, the storm outside mirrored the one within the townhouse. Rain streaked the windows as he stepped through the door, suit rumpled, his hair damp from the drizzle. "Darling." His voice was tentative, uncharacteristically soft, as if he sensed the shift in the air. I was standing in the living room, glass of wine in hand, the last light of sunset falling on my profile like a frame in a cinematic scene. I did not speak immediately. Silence is more effective than any scream. It has a precision no blade can match. He froze. I could see it in the way his pupils dilated, the slight hitch in his breath. Where is everything?" His voice rose, panicked now, cracking under the strain of sudden uncertainty. He stepped closer, cautiously, hands trembling. The arrogance that had once allowed him to betray without consequence had evaporated, leaving only the raw, exposed vulnerability of a man who thought the world still revolved around him. "I sold it," I said simply, setting the wine on the mahogany side table. No flourish, no apology, no need for explanation. Effective immediately. His face drained of color. Lips parted, but no words came out at first. Only the sharp intake of breath that echoed in the high-ceilinged room. Then, finally, he screamed a guttural, broken sound that shattered the fragile illusion of control he had always wielded so carelessly. "What? You can't do that. That house, that everything, that's ours." His words were frantic, a mirror of the chaos he had orchestrated in my life for years. I stepped toward him, slow, deliberate. It was mine to protect. I said, and you failed. His eyes darted around, desperate, the room now stripped of the security he had taken for granted. The artwork, the furnishings, they were all gone or under contract with the new owner. His hands trembled as he reached for me, but I recoiled, the distance deliberate. You don't understand, he pleaded. You can't just what about? The mortgage? The bank? I understand perfectly, I interrupted, voice steady, unwavering, and every penny is secure. Every contract is ironclad. You will not touch it, not 1 pound. Not one memory, not one corner of this house. Not after what you've done. He sank onto the sofa, gasping for breath, his mind grappling with the sudden, total loss of control. I had dismantled him without fire, without violence, without witnesses. All the power he had assumed was his by birthright had been stripped, away by someone he had believed, small, compliant, and dependent. And in that moment, I was neither. I was sovereign in my own right, a force forged from betrayal and refined by years of quiet observation. I don't understand, he whispered finally, voiced hoarse, trembling. Why? Why would you do this? I smiled faintly, a cold, measured curve of the lips. Because you made me understand that freedom is more valuable than love, more precious than loyalty, and infinitely more satisfying than revenge. And because, for the first time, I am no longer yours to harm. The rain pounded against the windows, filling the void between us, as if the city itself were applauding my calculated triumph. I could see the reflection of myself in the French doors, the woman I had become, unbroken, untouchable, resolute. And in that reflection, I saw clarity, power, and an unshakable peace that he would never comprehend. In the weeks that followed, he attempted to recover what he believed he had lost. Lawyers, desperate calls, threats veiled in civility, all futile. The sale had been clean, legal, unassailable. The bank confirmed it. The contracts were binding. Every attempt he made only exposed his desperation and immaturity, while my own financial empire quietly expanded, reinforced by strategic investments and alliances that he had never understood. The house had been a symbol, but the victory extended far beyond its walls. Friends who had once whispered their doubts about me now approached with caution and respect. Colleagues, rivals, even former acquaintances realized that the quiet, overlooked woman had emerged as a calculated force, methodical and unassailable. In private, I allowed myself a small smile, not for the pain inflicted, but for the liberation achieved. I had reclaimed my autonomy, my dignity, my life built entirely on my own terms. Months later, stood on a terrace overlooking the Thames. At dusk, lights shimmered on the water, London alive and indifferent below. A champagne flute in hand, I allowed myself the first sip of unadulterated satisfaction. My phone buzzed, another inquiry about the property, another investor eager to align with me. I did not reply immediately. I simply lifted the glass to the horizon, to the city that had been witness to my years of manipulation, control, and ultimate reclamation. In the reflection, I saw only one woman, whole, independent, unbroken, and in that moment, I realized the final truth. Revenge is not about screams or chaos. It is about clarity, patience, and the audacity to seize what was always yours. The house was sold. The betrayal was paid in full. And the life I built from the ashes of deceit was mine alone, alone untouchable, eternal. The cold London wind brushed against my face, carrying with it the scent of rain and freedom. Somewhere behind me, I knew he still lingered, trapped. In his disbelief, staring at an empty space that once embodied everything he thought he owned. But I did not turn. I did not gloat. I walked forward, heels clicking against the wet pavement, heart steady, mind clear, every step a testament to the quiet, perfect power of survival and calculated revenge. And for the first time in years, I smiled freely because I was not just free, I was sovereign.